can remember spending a small fortune at the Gillette Stadium when I was overseeing the Patriots. Brian T. Smith, talkSPORT's US sports writer, joins us live here in studio. And there was nothing fake about the kits in there, Brian. Of course, the Patriots were in their pomp.
All the prices, I suspect.
And yeah, and
did you buy a Bill Belichick jersey? Or a Tom Brady jersey?
Brady. And of course, I hesitate to say it, but
I doubt he bought it.
Brady signed the thing for me. But
you have a signed Tom Brady jersey?
I do indeed.
That's fantastic. Wow.
I do indeed. But here's the thing. Are we really talking about the numbers I believe that we're talking about? Is this for real? But Brian, of course, right across the NFL and everything else that goes on in the US, the Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen has agreed a new contract extension until 2030, worth up to a record $338 million US, making him one of the highest paid players. Are we in that territory? Is that Mahomes? Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, has signed a 10-year deal worth $450 million US. Is this the territory we're in now in the US?
This is the United States. Simon knows this stuff well. We talk about this a lot on your guys' show. This is the power of the US. Now, I was looking at this and doing some research, and we have these stories at talkSPORT.com, and I was writing about Josh Allen yesterday. But there are higher paid players internationally, right? And a lot of it is Middle Eastern, Saudi-based money. But once you get past that tier in international football, European football, it all tilts toward America. And yeah, Josh Allen, who has not won a Super Bowl, who is 0-4 versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, who won MVP, but he's not a great quarterback. He hasn't done anything great in NFL history. $330 million, $250 million guaranteed.
How much is the guarantee?
And that's what's crazy, is the guarantee part of it. So you don't see that in the national in the NBA. You don't see that. I mean, compare Josh Allen, who's never won anything, to Holland, who makes about $20 million a year.
Right.
Josh Allen is woefully overpaid, but he happens to play in the United States of America,
where you have incredible broadcast deals, TV deals. And this helps. I mean, the NFL's latest TV deal is $113 billion US dollars over 11 years.
Which is why, and we talked about this a lot on your guys' show before, which is why, even if the supporters hate it, which is why so many of these owners or the leagues want to try to expand as much into America as possible because of the TV rights, because of the money, and it all. Simon was just saying this very, very eloquently. It's a domino effect. It all trickles down to the fact that the Buffalo Bills haven't won a Super Bowl, can't get past the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC again, but they can afford. They're not going broke. They're not on verge of relegation. They can afford to pay Josh Allen $330 million, and he hasn't won anything. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what they're able to do.
You used the example of Erling Haaland. I wonder if are we inching towards this, Simon?
Possibly.
If the broadcast deals continue to go in the direction they're going in here.
We are.
He signed a 10-year deal with City worth a reported $500,000 a week, $24 million a year.
Yeah,
for 10 years.
Yeah, but there's a lot more to that than just paying him the money. It's also about protecting the asset so you can sell it on, because there's a different transfer marketplace than there is in the NFL. You also got to compare apples with apples. The NFL, whilst a remarkable deal at 900 million sterling. You look at the English Premier League, you've also got to remember this is a country that has 360 million people in it, so it's the size of a continent. So if you actually appropriated the domestic rights of the Premier League on a per capita basis against the American deal, our Premier League rights domestically are bigger. Now, where we've also got an advantage is we have an overseas market that they don't have yet. So we've got overseas. So our broadcast deals, when we say we've got a £6.7 billion broadcast deal over 4 years, that's not right. We have a £3.5 billion a year broadcast deal because we have overseas territories that's not available, which is why the NFL is going on tour.
Yeah.
Which is why people like Mark Waller, who was the EVP for the NFL, started this principle of the overseas tours and building out the marketplace to be able to increase the revenue. Because whilst on paper, a $1.3 billion 10-year deal, or $1.13 billion, is remarkable. When you actually pare it back and look at what the English Premier League is doing in terms of what it's got as its audience domestically, it's about on the money. They've got 6 times the size of our population. Our deal is 6 times less than theirs in broadcast terms. Actually, it's probably less than that, 5 times less than theirs. But we've got an overseas market. So in the end, this wonderful bonanza of supersize me American thought processes, soccer will eclipse it, and it'll be interesting to see
Soccer will eclipse it.
Because it's got it's the world's game. The NFL's job now is to try and make itself more valuable around the rest of the world, in Germany and other places that is ceding some of its interest, the UK, but it's a North American sport.
Yeah.
And whilst that's wonderful, and having just been to America, you forget the scale of this country, you forget the power of it. You're seeing it in its leader right now, what he can do to the rest of the world, and what he can do to other nations when he decides to put tariffs on them and bring them to heel. And sports and the scale of the NFL, but don't be under the illusion that the English Premier League is a runt by comparison, because it most certainly isn't.
What didn't you towards you, Brian? In fact, we might eclipse
I thought we were
you.
talking about jerseys. I thought we were talking about jersey prices. I completely agree with him on an international scale, which is why the NFL is trying to expand. The fact, though, is the fact is very simple. The fact that the Buffalo Bills can pay a non-Super Bowl winning quarterback $330 million, and they're not having any other financial issues, and they're on the verge of building a new stadium. You know, we treat Manchester United and Old Trafford, we have all this covered at talkSPORT.com. Huge deal. Obviously, a huge deal. But the NFL, for better and worse, they're able to snap their fingers and build new stadiums across the country. That is what, and I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying I love it, but that is what they do there. They have no problem paying Josh Allen $330 million, and he hasn't won anything. But also, it blows my mind.
But they also don't have the same economics of the sport. They're able to pick up franchises and move them to a part of the country that suits them better. And they also don't have to pay £100 million to buy Jack Grealish.
Yeah, true.
I gotta ask Simon, though, where is Simon drinking that he can get a pint for like £1? I've been hearing this, £1.50, or like you can't even get that at Weatherspoons. Where are you drinking that you can get a pint for £1.50?
You want to go there now?
Yeah, I pay about $7.50 now for a pound of Fullers. I don't know what you're talking about.
The cost of sale is £1.50 then.
Wow. That's what I've been missing in the last 13 years. Brilliant. Brian, thank you so much.
Inflation, tariffs, they're out of control.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.